That started out that way at the last meeting. We had the recording in progress. When we got all done and I went back to it, it stopped right after that.
Oh, no kidding.
Just stopped. Didn't get notified of it.
Internet connection, like we'll put that in there. Find it, turn on it. I lost internet connection. I had to reboot.
Yeah. Pay the bill, why? Gotta pay the bill.
Plus, hey, and the Wi-Fi receiver is just from here to here. I mean,
Too close, that's the problem.
Jason's on his way.
Okay,
but
we'll give him a
the
minute.
other computer works fine.
He said, wait for me leaving station now.
Okay,
He sent that at
I even shut
6:56.
one down off the other, so it wasn't.
Yeah, I've got a VPN that just won't stay connected. I'm gonna call them up and say, guys, I paid for this, it should stay connected. No, kind of called Weber.
My spectrum's pretty decent, actually.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with their internet. Speed's fine. My VPN just hides me from everybody else that's out there.
and there's Tom.
Hey, you know, there's a speed limit on that road.
You got lights.
I want to light
Lights are going.
We get lights inside here. We're all set.
Okay, now that we're all here, to the extent we need to, we'll open the meeting. And we're here to discuss with the planning board. I take it some reluctance to. Probably can now. You can now? Yep. Jeez, I gotta open this up. All right. As I understand, there's some reluctance on the part of the planning board to meet in person, and they want to continue to meet remotely. And we're here to discuss that and how to resolve this issue, if it is an issue. As I indicated to Rich when we communicated via email, that in my view, as I read the statute, you had to meet in person. We've since contacted MMA. One of their senior staff attorneys up there has rendered an opinion that indeed that the law requires you to meet in person, subject to some emergencies that are listed in the statute. And one of the emergencies is not COVID. Since the governor lifted her emergency order, there's no longer that in place to allow you to meet remotely. But that's where things stand, folks. I don't know what else I can tell you. I know there's good reasons, probably many of you don't want to meet in person, but you better talk to your state legislator about that because we don't have any control over that.
That's depressing because COVID is back on the increase again. And there was a report from the CDC, the US CDC, yesterday that said they think that there are 14 times as many cases of COVID out there than are actually being reported because everybody's getting tested at home and nobody's reporting the positive effect. I think, you know, it's troubling that hospitalization cases are going up, positivity cases are going up. That's the reason that we don't want to.
I understand it, Rich. I'm just saying we got to follow the law. I mean, that's what the statute says. And there's consequences to not following the law. I mean, you guys want a copy of his email? Have you seen that?
No, I don't need it. I have no reason to think you might have.
What's that?
There are no reason to think you're lying to us.
No, I mean, if, I just. I mean, maybe order will be issued by the governor, and you can then go back to meeting remotely.
It's a problem. You know, I was relying on the policy that says that when not practical, such as in the case of an emergency or an urgent issue. I think that the BA2 variant is an emergency. But if you're telling me that we have to go back to meeting face to face, I don't like it.
I understand. I mean, you can wear masks, obviously, to protect yourselves.
No, masks don't protect me. They protect you from me.
Well, if everybody's wearing a mask, then you're all right.
But we can't do that either because the CDC said so.
Can't force that. I don't think they said you can't wear a mask.
No. Well, no, you're right. They didn't say you.
No. You know, as I said, we're just concerned as a board that any action you take isn't subject to vulnerabilities because you weren't following the law in terms of meeting person. Which
Has
is,
there been public comment about the board meeting via Zoom as opposed to in person? Has there been a complaint or have there been complaints as a result?
not that I'm aware of, Susan.
Because our turnout on Zoom has been terrific. And sadly, it's, so much better than what we were getting in person. And it's too bad.
I get that, but to Tom's point, if you were to render a decision that somebody didn't like, they could hire legal and say that your decision was incorrect because you weren't following the law of meeting in person. And now the town is liable for lawsuit. And guess what? We don't want to get into that. We've been through that stuff
It
already.
provides for extenuating
And those-
circumstances.
But those extenuating circumstances are not anywhere near clear what's described. And the
Exactly.
governor hasn't described it as an emergency. So if she does, then we look at it again and we enact this policy. But at this point, we're liable. We don't want to be held for any, we've been through this enough already, and we don't want to go through any more of this stuff.
I think we're pretty safe from anybody suing us because
Yeah,
the
we always
law
thought so too.
is vague enough. I think that would be an issue.
It just takes one.
Well, that's the law. That's the law. I'm just saying it's sad because we've had tremendous turnout.
And other towns are still doing it. So.
I understand
I mean,
that. I understand it. I see it. I've watched some other town meetings and I'm shaking my head. I said, I don't, if somebody is upset with what they've done, you open the door to a legal challenge. It's unnecessary.
I understand Marty's point on that, but my point on that is I don't care what other towns do. This is a run. I don't need to do it.
And that's what I'm saying too. We follow the law. If they choose not to do it,
We
go
don't
ahead.
follow the law. We don't follow the law. I don't care what other towns do.
I'm just saying we're not the only ones.
Hmm.
That's all I was trying to. We're the only ones out there. I mean, you're also turning around, if you look at it also like the different meetings for municipalities, how they're still doing all the Zoom meetings. I mean, and that's the state. That's the state themselves.
Well, the state's meeting in person right now, Marty. The legislature is meeting in person.
Municipality, some of the meetings that they're having of the conferences and everything else are still being done on Zoom.
No, I don't know what you're speaking to there, but maybe, I don't know.
And it all depends on what
A
type
lot
of
of
meeting
the-
it is.
A lot of the MMA meetings that we get invited to are strictly Zoom meetings. They're not meeting face to face.
But
Sure, but
the
the
MMA meetings don't include.
Yeah, but they're training meetings. They're not decision-making.
Right, they're not
meetings,
decision-making meetings. Exactly.
Okay.
It's just not subject to the statute. I mean, we are.
No, if you're telling us that we're subject to the statute and we have no choice but to meet face to face, then we'll meet face to face. That's a very simple solution.
Yep.
Again, it doesn't mean that we like it. It just means that we'll do what, if that's what the requirement is, then we'll meet the requirement.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
If we go back public, can the meeting still be zoomed so that we get because of other outsiders that have been overwhelmingly given us thoughts, inputs, positive and some negative, but we also have people from out of state that are turning around and attending our meetings. And can the public meeting be done also with Zoom?
No, they gotta be there physically to make any comments while you're meeting in person.
I mean, not us. I'm talking about
But
I'm talking about other people.
the public, if they need to make comments, they need to be.
They have to be there. That's just, I mean, as I said, I'm just reading the statute. I mean,
I'm just asking.
Okay.
I mean, because like you said, we've had such a better,
I understand.
You could watch it in Zoom.
Yeah,
So that will still be available.
You could watch it. You just make comments, but people, you guys could set it up that that they would be viewed via Zoom if you'd like.
Is that, I'll show my ignorance here. Is that one of our policies or is that the state policy?
this policy mirrors the state policy.
No, I'm talking about the public comments and stuff.
That's state
It is-
statute.
oh, it's a state
Right.
policy. All right. I just want to make sure. it
Yep.
wasn't something we-
Yep.
Yeah, the only people that, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, the only people that are allowed to comment on Zoom would be members of the board that did not make it to that particular meeting. It's like if I'm going to be traveling out of town.
Right.
Right.
Then I could still comment on it.
You as the chairman could allow that.
I knew that. I just wasn't
Yeah.
sure if the
Right.
public was ours or if it was the state mandate.
No.
That's all.
No.
Okay.
So is there anything to preclude a board member who has a significant other that's compromised to attend the meetings by Zoom as opposed to in person? Like Marty has a situation where he has to be careful and he would probably prefer to attend via Zoom. But is there any reason why he could continue to participate via Zoom in order to, satisfy his responsibility to the board, but also be responsible to his wife?
The policy allows in those circumstances for Marty to contact Rich. And if Rich is satisfied that the circumstance satisfies the policy in terms of him being able to participate remotely, that's how it works. So if you got an issue, or as he said, if you're out of town and it's a long distance, you can't get there physically, then the chairman allows you to participate remotely, you can.
So the chair would be would only allow Marty to participate in a Zoom meeting. Any other public would be muted and would not be allowed to
That's right.
participate.
Right.
how about a question along the thoughts, if you have somebody from out of state?
They can't participate, they have to be here.
You can watch.
Just asking, I mean,
They did before.
huh?
They did before, so they can do it now. They did before this pandemic. So
How's that
they
going
can
to
do it now.
affect Lee J too? Because I know that, if he is the town planner, part of his responsibility is to show up. But I
Yes.
know the drive is
Mm.
onerous.
I'm
and
sure.
He's dealing with a lot of different responsibilities, different municipalities.
Yeah, that was one of the issues that we came across with a lot of the architects and the engineers. They don't have to travel from Bangor or some other weird place in the country to get down here for the meetings. They thought it was-
We're not here to advocate for the policy. I mean, I think it
Oh,
should be
no.
addressed by the legislature, but we're just saying
Okay,
this is what they've said, maybe somebody calls Wayne Perry and others to say, hey, maybe you ought to look at this. Because we've had a success with it and we think it works. And maybe somebody ought to look at Title I and 403B and modify it.
Yeah, and the towns that are still using it, they must be using it for a reason. And maybe the reason is the same reason as you guys would like to do it, because they get more participation. So, if you can get more people involved with this, maybe change the statute, who knows?
Well, you
I
tried to
have
get
a
hold of
question.
Terry, right?
if I may,
I've never been, I haven't been able to reach my.
since we're getting more participation and everything else, can that, because I know you said you contacted, what,
MMA, yeah.
can you ask them that question? Since we're having more input from the public, would that be a reason to continue the Zoom? I mean, on their opinion.
I don't think so, Marty. Their opinion is they're quoting the statute and it says you have to meet physically.
Okay, I'm
That's,
throwing out a
that's,
question.
yeah.
That's the statute.
So bottom
Their
line,
hands
if
are
we
tied.
feel that strongly about it as a board, right? We get a hold of our legislature, ask them to meet with us as a planning board and present our case and have them bring something forward. That's how you get it changed.
And I encourage you, to Marty's point, if you know of other municipalities that are doing it, reach out,
Contact them and have them do the same thing.
reach out to them, talk to them, find out what they're seeing and then go from there.
Get their state rep to also chime in, and maybe if you get enough of them, they'll change the rule.
I think the only ones that I know of from BJ.
The only way it's gonna
He's told
change.
us that a number of the towns that he represents meet on Zoom. But okay, in the meantime,
He signed up to take on a run. Right,
oh, no, I understand that.
Right, and he knew when he signed up that there would be travel, that he would have to attend these meetings.
I've already spoken to Lee J. He's all set to come to your meetings when they're available. He's got no problem. with
And
that.
on a side note, he's done a great job.
Yeah.
He's really been a very positive addition to the
From
planning.
what I've seen from watching the minutes, and watching the videos, I think he's done an excellent
Yeah,
job.
he
so.
really has. He's a nice man.
Oh, sorry for the bad news, folks, but
One thing left to do, I guess.
Yeah.
When you guys buy dinner.
I think Tom should, because he had to deliver the bad news.
yeah.
He should be entitled to eat as well. Okay, we'll just, our next meeting, I think, is May 5th, I believe. We'll be here face to face.
So let's see if we can't get a hold of Wayne Perry.
Are you guys doing anything about the echo?
About the what?
Echo?
Hey, what?
The could be.
Hello? Well, we've done, as you can see, some of it. Yeah, the other issue is, some of the selectmen have talked about maybe putting some sort of flags or something on the ceiling to try to diffuse it as well, but we just have so many hard surfaces that we're dealing with. We find that the more people here, the merrier, so maybe if we get more people here, it will disperse a little bit more, but
That's the only thing, every time I come in, I have bad hearing.
Sure.
When I wear these, it echoes like crazy, I can't hear anything. You know,
If I could just
Turn
put
them up,
my
turn
2
them down.
cents worth in. It is bad. You're never gonna get a lot of people showing up here. Because sitting back here, you guys might be able to hear each other talking face to face. Back here, the minute that goddamn blower kicks in, forget it.
Yeah.
And it's not just the echo, we've got serious acoustic problems, and I really think we're gonna get an acoustic expert in here and spend a few bucks and fix it. We've been in here about a year and a half now, and we still can't hear each other.
well, I can solve it tomorrow by putting rugs on the floor. The acoustical folks have told us that if we rugged it, we probably would eliminate what we have now. Because what's happening is it's bouncing off the ceiling to the floor. And then it's just reverberating everywhere.
Well, rugs on the ceiling. Then it works.
Yeah, man.
People won't get them dirty.
We definitely agree with you. I certainly do. We've been bitching about this for a little while. We certainly agree with what you're saying, John. We've been complaining about this for a while, and I have a big issue with when that AC thing kicks in. I think there's something we can do, open up some vents or what have you, to try to minimize that and not impede the flow, but when, as soon as that thing kicks in, that drives me nuts.
What I'm trying to get across is, we put up with it for a long time, spent what, $3 million on this building, and we still can't hold a decent meeting in here. the positive sound quality.
It has gotten better.
To do it now.
Right, I agree. I mean, it has gotten better, a lot better than when we first started, but there's still room for improvement. I agree.
Still.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I just, when that goes on, I can't hear it. And if I'm gonna make decisions, I ought to hear. It'd be nice if I knew what
It's one of them little cones.
Oh, God.
Isn't it worse on Zoom? Isn't the echo sound worse on Zoom?
No, you don't get the echo,
No,
you get
because
direct
you-
from the,
yeah.
oh, when they're on their own. Oh, yeah.
No.
No, we don't get that echo when we're on.
No, because it's direct from the mic from whoever's talking.
No, even our, when I put this on Zoom tape, when you put it on, it comes in clear.
Yeah, back when we were doing Zoom on all the meetings, I tuned into a couple of council meetings. And it's amazing, you can actually hear stuff. You know, it's a world of difference from actually physically walking in here. You miss half of what's being said. And it just destroys any incentive to attend the meeting. It's a waste of time, basically.
Yeah, there's also another advantage to online. When someone's presenting the board, anybody behind cannot see it, and even from the panel, can't really read what he's pointing at first. But online, just let it share, there it is right on your screen.
But we have the facilities here to fix that. We have a camera, we have TVs, so the camera can be pointed to if somebody comes in and has a screen, it's all remote, you can sit there and point that and you can see it right on the screen. So we have the capabilities to show that here.
Set up, we have one here, are there several?
No, just that one
Just
camera.
that one camera.
But you can sit from the desk right there with the remote control and you can move it, you can zoom in, you can look at the TVs and see where it is.
Right.
We haven't had a need to. Nobody wants to see our faces.
But I didn't know you could do that, because that's been a great help in the meetings when we
Agreed.
share the screen, and Jason or whomever could put the plans up there. And everybody gets to see what it
But
is.
it's also been a hindrance, as I've seen, because sometimes people want to see certain things and they're struggling with trying to bring it up, share their screen and,
Yep.
so I've seen both sides of
Oh,
it,
yeah.
so, but I think we have the capabilities here to do that. We just got to work them through, but to me, number one is fix the sound issue sometime.
Gotta fix this out, guys.
Agree.
Us old guys are having trouble with this.
Wait, you keep playing with the sirens, you'll get it too.
Anything else, folks? Okay.
Make it work.
All right, thank you.
Thank